Hey everyone, we have got Adeptus Titanicus, and we are looking through the book today, aren't we?
Yeah, bit of a closer look.
Bit of a closer look, because you have already done one...
Brief overview.
Yeah,
now we're looking into the actual rules and what's not.
You've done the unboxing, so you've seen everything that's in there. I got handed this by Phil yesterday, and I've been utterly confused since yesterday. And for the last half an hour, we've been going back and forth on the rules, haven't we? Because we've had more of an in-depth look on how these actually work, and it's very different to 40k, 7th edition or 8th edition. Oh, yeah. It's got some similarities, but there's a lot of changes.
I think similarities kind of end with the titles of the special rules.
What does it say? It says, set in a universe of Warhammer 40k. That's the similarity so far. It's a really complicated game. Like, that's the biggest thing I've taken away so far. If you like complicated games
resource management,
with extra special rules, if you're all about special rules, then this is the game that you could play until whenever. Yeah. Like, the limitations are pretty much in the models that are available, but they've already said that they're going to be releasing extra stuff later on, haven't they? So, should we have a look at the book anyway? Let's just go through what's in here as a brief overview. We'll pick out some points that stand out the most. Yeah. And then we can bring up some of these other cards as well, because there's quite a lot going off, yeah? So the preface, it's all talking about the Imperium of mankind and how it started. All the way through this book, there's some really nice artwork.
Yeah, beautiful artwork. Schematics for each Titan, kind of their class, their reactor levels, and scale factors and stuff like that. So it's interesting to learn about the Titans and the naming of the parts of the Titans and the differences.
And a lot of the people, so loads of people have obviously bought Titans in the past from Forge World, and it's nice for those that haven't been able to get Titans to be able to be included somewhat. But for the 30k Horus Heresy crowd in particular, I think this is going to be a huge draw, because this is all throughout the stories, you know, all the way through the novels.
All Titan battles, and
that's all you get. I mean, what was it, Angron and, without spoiling it, there's a really good book. I think it was, what was the book? Betrayer? With Angron, no, just Betrayer, with Angron and Dude. The preacher, the one that I did, Wordbearers.
Yeah, Lorgar.
So those two, and they're facing off against a Titan. One of the most awesome scenes.
Well, I know off the top of my head, there's Emperor of Mankind as well. Has got an amazing Titan battle in there with the Warlord. I think it's a Warlord taking on other Titans and stuff. There's Magnus taking on Eldar Titans. That's always fun to watch.
Yeah. Is that in the Emperor of Mankind as well?
No, that's in Thousand Suns or Prospero Burns.
I need to read that one 100%, because it starts in here. So it's got the Empire of Old. It's basically saying how Earth got destroyed. I actually didn't realise that Earth got wiped out by AI machines. Yeah. And that's one of the big things that they're...
Hence why everything now is augmented upgrades to organic flesh. Yeah.
Because it's saying here, the custodians of knowledge preached the sanctity of the machine, even as they remain vigilant for the return of the true self-awareness. Ever fearful that thinking machines might turn upon what remained of humanity as they had at the dawn of strife.
Why, if you're familiar with the Castellan robots from 40k or the walkers from 30k, they're not self-aware. They have to be programmed in battle programs. The automators, that's the Thanatar class and stuff. They have to be programmed, so they're not self-aware.
And yet humans are going that way anyway, aren't we? We're going full AI. So it's good. The world gets basically destroyed to a point. Everything, all the oceans boil. There's a big fight between all of the tribes on Earth. And then the Emperor appears and basically unites everybody, works with the Mechanicum or whatever they are on Mars. Is it the Mechanicum at that point, or are they just kind of priests? I think they become the Mechanicum later, but there's a load of people.
Let's call them Mechanicum.
A load of people or things on Mars, and they create the Titans, which is all of these huge things. Another thing they've included in here is a bit of an update, because they talk about the Inari and the Slanni. Did you see that? Yeah. So they're talking about they were the creators of stuff in the galaxy, which is obviously the Eldari.
Yeah. The Slanni are Slan from fantasy, aren't they?
Well, they were in 40k, yeah. They were in 40k as well, same as the Eldar. They were the big creators at the beginning. So Mars, basically, there's big wars on Mars. Yeah. Between good Mars people and bad Mars people. They have Titans that basically turn renegade.
Yeah, and the Civil War of Mars.
Yeah, and then that happened in the Heresy as well, because they basically turned against each other.
Mechanicum, good Mechanicum.
Yes, and then obviously Horus fell and all of that. So this is all set around
there's a lot of lore in here for for you to flip through.
And it talks about the Unification Wars and the Great Crusade and everything that goes on there. And then we've got the Titan Legions and then the Heros Heresy. So it gives you a brief timeline of what's going on.
Major battles.
There's a lot of stuff in the actual timeline in here, and I got to here and I kind of just switched to the rules after that, because that you can literally spend hours going through all of this. You've got the Betrayal of Calth, you've got the Ruin of Myrden. What else have we got in here that we can pick out? There's a lot of stuff I've not seen before. The Death of Talon. Spoiler alert. And then we go on to the rules. So, you know, there's not that many pages. 18 pages of stuff at the beginning, and then we're straight into the rules. One thing that they did include in here was a designer's note, so talking about the previous version of Adeptus Titanicus. Yeah. So anybody who did play it in the past, obviously it's a completely different rule set, but they've tried to keep a lot of things familiar. So veterans of Adeptus Titanicus will see the similarities. But obviously if you're new to the game and the new blood to Games Workshop, which there is quite a large amount now, they want it to be accessible. So they've changed the rules, but they've kept it as familiar as possible. So
I quite like this. I think this is a really good demonstration what they've got here. How they've got the board set up, the models, and they've numbered everything, and you can see what everything's used for. Your stratagems, your reference sheets, your weapon cards, all of that. So you know what everything is if you get confused. And I think that's really good.
Yeah, and it's nice. I mean, the size of the battlefield was the thing that stood out straight away. So 2x4 is the smallest size.
Yep.
But then it goes up to 4x4. That's the standard one. And you do really need to play on a 4x4 because you need this extra space around the outside. So normally, if you're used to playing on a 6x4, that extra space will be taken up by all of these reference cards and all the materials. And it does look quite daunting at first. You have all of these cards for every unit. And there is a lot. But I think once you play it and you get used to it, you'll understand what they do and it won't be as daunting. This is showing a game in progress.
Yeah, I think this is... I think it's amazing that they're doing this, kind of being able to see the flow of the battle and what everything does and how you do it.
We've said this is similar in ways in how it plays to Kill Team with the obscuring rules and all of the special rules that you can do, but I think it's very different in another way, because Kill Team you want as much scenery as possible, and although this has scenery, it's not filled to the brim.
You still need to be able to, because it's quite hard to manoeuvre Titans.
And that's one big thing in this game, you do have to manoeuvre. There's arcs, so for anyone who's played 8th edition Fantasy,
front, side and rear,
you've got all of your arcs, and obviously 7th edition rules for the armour and things like that. It's taken stuff from 7th edition 40k and 8th edition 40k and 8th edition Fantasy and mixed it all into one Heresy era game. What else do we got? We've got cool dice.
Yeah,
really cool dice. Cool. We won't go through all of this because this has gone through the unboxing, so there's really cool dice. Let's just skip to some of the big stuff. So arcs.
Here we go. Yeah. So if anybody, these are the arc templates. As you can see, you put them on the front of the base. It gives you the 45 degrees and your front arcs.
Next, we've got command terminals, which is something quite new. This was daunting to see all of the extra stuff.
Yeah.
But we've got a command terminal for each of the Titans. And,
2 for each.
You've also got it for the banners of Knights.
Yes, the Questoris support banners.
Did you say you get 2 for each?
Yeah, you do in the box.
Oh, this is what you get in there as standard. Okay. Yeah, 2 Warlords, 2 Reavers. We've lost one. Oh, he's there. Okay, it's fine.
That's fine.
So on here, it's got a lot of complicated stuff.
Yes. So do you know what all of them are, Sam? This is going to be the test for you.
No, not really. I mean, strategy, the first you've got 5 parts to a turn.
Yeah, your command roll is the roll needed for your stratagem to go off on them, or the order, rather. You can order your Titans to do things.
Yeah, and they're advanced rules. So they've split the rules down into basics and advanced. And they've basically said, try the simple stuff first. When you're happy with playing games like that, you go to the advanced and you include all of that. And I would definitely say, looking at it, do it that way, because there's a lot of complicated stuff inside here. You tired, Jack?
Yeah.
So on this command, what was it called?
Command terminal.
A command terminal. That's a fancy Titanicus name. So 3 up to do your orders.
Yep.
You've got your ballistic skill, weapon skill. You've got speed, which is in 2 different types.
Yeah. So the smaller one is your standard speed, and the large number is if you push your reactor.
Yep. So something we'll talk about later is overloading your reactor so that you can do special things, and it's the same with the maneuver. Normally you can do 1 maneuver, and that's a 45-degree turn, I believe.
That's 45-degree turn.
And if you overload it, you can do 2 maneuvers.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Warlord, so you're kind of not expecting to move this very fast, are you?
No. You've got Servitor Clades, which allow you to repair. So later on, you're going to get to the damage step, damage control. And for each of these servitor clades that you've got, you roll a dice.
Yeah.
And then the numbers that are on there, you use them to do different things. So it might be you need a 4 or more to reduce the plasma reactor down 1 level. And if you've rolled a 4 on one of those dice, you can use it to do that. And
it's actually a 5 to do that.
A 5, okay. Let's say just a guess. Sorry, Jack, Mr. Titanicus himself. What else have we got on here? We've got the plasma reactor levels.
Yeah, so you can push it.
So as you overload it, you put pins inside this to push the level of the reactor each way. You've got your void shield again, which can get worse
and worse
to the point where you have
get removed.
Nothing. And then down here you've got the points of the Titan. So we've got the head, the body, and the legs. And it's got the structure points for each of those areas. It's also got what you need to actually hit it. So if you're shooting at this Titan,
to penetrate it. So.
To penetrate, So to penetrate the head, you're going to need to have a 13 or a 14, and you add the roll of the dice.
For a direct hit.
Yeah, and we'll get onto that as well.
Yeah, I know, it's just layer after layer of rolls.
You need to roll a dice, and you add the strength of the weapon, and depending on what it is, it will do a certain thing. So if you roll between a 13 and a 14, you'll have a direct hit. If you roll a 17 or more, it will be a critical hit, and depending on what you roll, it will have a different effect. Once you get to the point where you have no structure points left, is that when you go into here?
No, that's if you have no more structure points, then you go into catastrophic damage.
How do you get in here
that's
again?
Critical hits, so that's your critical damage.
Right,
and
so if you take 3.
so you get more and more and more critical damage, and as you move along these critical damage, it tells you what problems can occur. So on the head, if you've suffered 1 critical damage, you have an MUI feedback. And on a 2,
MIU feedback. You're going to be picking everything else up.
MUI feedback.
MIU feedback.
And then you get more and more and more. And each of these different kind of problems have their own association to the Titan and how it works. So your weapons can overheat, your reactors can leak and irradiate everyone within it.
That sounds really nasty.
Yeah, you can explode from it, you can get immobilized, your stabilizers can be blown off and you can't move.
And the head's got less points, and when you're actually rolling the hits, so when you're picking a Titan to shoot at something, you roll all of your hits, and then you roll to see which location you're hitting on the Titan, the enemy
Unless
Titan.
you do focus fires, of course, which you can choose, but you get negatives to your hit.
On top of this, you've got slots. So
so say like you had a Titan, you would have volcano cannon, volcano.
No, what are they called?
Bellicoso.
Phil said we sounded like, what was it? Grandmas trying to talk about things. What is this? A bellicoso
volcano.
So you pay for these as well. So the actual Warlord Titan up here, it tells you it's 385 points plus weapons, and the weapons have the points on them already. So you can see it's quite expensive. I think a skirmish game was about 700 to 1200 points. So you're not really going to be taking a Titan, a Warlord Titan in a skirmish, or you take one. You're saying I would take one?
Oh no, I would.
Yeah. These cards are quite nice as well, because when they've been destroyed and disabled, you flip them over. And to repair it, it tells you need a 5 or more.
Is using the servitor clade using damage control,
And then this will come back online and you can do stuff again.
And here it's really nice. It tells you the arc of fire for it. You have these long and short ranges. So if you're within the short range, like you have different accuracy values. So say for the paired laser blasters on the top, if you're within the long range of it, you get a -1 to hit because of the accuracy. Tells you the number of dice you roll, the strength of the weapon, and the traits the weapon has. So, you know, on a blast, it's a blast 5-inch, but it's also draining. So it just, all your rules for that one weapon is in one place on one card, which I kind of like.
Except for the traits, you do have to look these up, but they're kind of special rules, aren't
they? They're universal rules for everything. So blast 5-inch will be the same for all weapons with blast 5-inch, and draining will be the same for all draining.
I think draining was something like you can't fire, you can't use
unless you push the reactor.
No, unless if you have a reactor. If you don't have, if you're up to like here.
No, you have to, but it moves you down a level every time you shoot a draining weapon. I mean, we'll get onto them. There's lots of traits.
So basic rules: we've got strategy, movement, damage, combat, end. Yep. So these are split up into different types of stuff that you can do inside here. So the strategy basics, you really just determine who's the first player, which is your priority. So both people roll. and then you choose whoever rolls the highest. Chooses who's going to be going first.
Okay.
In every phase after that, so it's done in a priority. So if you've got the priority, or if you're the first player, as they say it is here, in the movement phase, you'll activate one of your knights first, or one of your titans. Then I'll do mine, then you'll do yours, and we go back and forth, and that's the same for all of these rounds and phases. Okay? You tried to say, weren't you?
Yep.
You tried really hard. Movement phase, so that's next. So
there we go.
The other stuff that was in the strategy, that is the stratagems and the orders, which is the advanced rules, which we won't talk about because there's just too much at the minute. Movement phase. What? So you've got your movement, you can push your reactor so you can move further. You have arcs for all of your weapons, so you need to be considering where you're going to be manoeuvring your stuff so you can get the best angles with your weapons.
Yeah, so you have to be very careful with your manoeuvring because it can actually make a massive difference. If you've got a couple degrees more to the right or something, it can actually make quite a big difference. So you have to be very careful with how you move and the measurements on your movement.
You have to make sure you measure them properly as well. Because here it's saying you can sidestep and you can back up.
Yes.
But it takes double the amount of movement.
Yeah.
So if you want to, models are also able to move outside their front arc. So your facing doesn't change, but if you do, every inch you do takes up 2 inches. So for example, a Reaver Titan with a speed of 6 can sidestep to the right up to 3 inches. Yeah. So your facing doesn't change, so you can still shoot the Titan ahead of you, but you just sidestep and it's double movement. So that's something you can do as well. Turning, like we said, it's a 45-degree arc.
For each point of manoeuvrability you have.
And we've said what we got. The Warlord, the Reaver's got 2 manoeuvres basic, 3 if you push it.
Yep.
The Warlord's 1 to 2.
And the Warhound's 3 to 5, so the Warhound can really move.
It's quite manoeuvrable. We have collisions, so you can collide with other
You can't
Titans.
Purposefully do it,
Can you not?
though, can you? I don't think so.
I thought you could. How cannot voluntarily move through other models?
So you can't
move through. You could you voluntarily
could you voluntarily just smash them into
can't.
Each other?
But if you do, you both take damage.
Yeah, depending on your scale factor. So a Warhound will do less to a Warlord than a Warlord.
Warlord just accidentally stepping.
Oh, whoops! Just kicks it across the field. Oh no!
Damage control. Next phase.
There we go. Yeah. So this is when your servitor clades get to work trying to.
Oh, this wasn't the one. Yeah, it was the combat phase that properly phased me.
Yeah.
Damage control was quite simple, so for every servitor...
So if I have 4 servitor clade on a Warlord, you roll 4 dice. Say I get a 6, a 5, and...
A 4 and a 3.
2 and a 1.
Oh, you have to make it...
Yeah, I know. So you, on your on your command terminals... You have, it can, well actually no, it's on there, isn't it? I mean, stupid. So making repair rolls. So you've got repair actions to vent reactors.
Well. I was right, just so you're aware.
What for what?
Venting plasma. It's only a 4 up. Or did I say raise shields?
Yeah, you were on about raising void shields. Right, okay.
Yeah. We're both right, but I'm right in my head and you're right.
Yeah, you've got it, Sam. So yeah, you can vent your reactor to cool it down, you can raise more void shields, you can repair weapons, and it tells you what you need on each weapon on the face down.
Yeah, when you flip it.
Yeah.
When it's disabled, it shows you.
That word.
Critical damage as well, so if you take critical damage, you can repair those.
Yeah,
so
you can just imagine the little servitors swarming over it like, I got to repair it.
Yeah. And your Warlord's going to have more, so they just run around fixing it. So that's pretty much the damage control.
Quite
It's
simple.
exactly what it says. You fix all the damage that's going off. Then we go on to the complicated combat phase.
So get comfortable, basically.
Now, the sequence, it says select target. Now, it does say up here, when a unit is activated, it attacks with all of its weapons following these steps. But then it's select target, it says declare a target for the unit's attacks. Now, this could be one of 2 ways.
Yeah,
we don't know which
whether
way.
you can actually split fire your Titan or not.
I would say you can't. Purely because
it
says when a unit is activated, it attacks with all of its weapons. So you're already you're shooting everything. The next thing is declare a target for the unit's attacks. So it doesn't say declare a target for the weapons attacks.
Or each weapon.
Yeah.
Attack,
So I think it is going to be you shoot a Titan at a unit and you just declare it. That speeds it up as well. It just means that you're going to have to be really careful with those arcs and almost make sure you're fully targeting the thing you're going to be aiming at. Makes it more tactical. You declare the attacking weapon.
Yep.
So obviously only ones that aren't disabled can be used.
Any ones or out of arc.
Or out of arc, yeah, exactly.
Because you could be really close, so your carapace weapons can't shoot.
Why, have they got a minimum? Oh,
yes, that's what the carapace special rule is.
I haven't even read the special rules.
So we'll get on to that. you know, there's quite a lot to get through.
Checking the firing solution. So this is that's the arc of fire. That's where the things get in the way.
So this is the interesting part. You cannot pre-measure.
Oh really?
Yeah, there is no pre-measuring.
I don't like it.
It does say it somewhere.
I've been pre-measuring for so long now.
Yep. There you go.
Trying to make it up now. Where's your pen? Are you going to write this on?
No, there is.
It's somewhere.
No, there we go. So declare a target for the unit's attack. Note that measuring the range to the target or checking which arc it is within is not allowed. So no more pre-measuring, guys. We're back at that point.
We're taking a side step or a back step.
Or a back leap, more like at this point.
We're going back to 6th, 5th, 6th, 4th. I don't know. We're going back in time.
Yeah.
With Titans. You do all of that.
So yeah.
You roll your hit. The other thing that is in here is obscured.
Yeah.
If any part of the model is obscured by 25%, you minus it by 1, the hit. If it's at least 50%, then it's -2 to hit. So those bits of terrain, they are going to be key. If you use them to your advantage,
you can sneak a little warhound behind it. And
a little warlord. Got close quarter weapons as well.
So that's your melee weapons. That's your big chain fists and titan fists.
And this was the other thing is, attacks made against targets within 2 inches of the attacking units use the attacking unit's weapon skill rather than its ballistic skill.
So I mean, you can still shoot your cannon up into their face in combat. You just use your weapon skill.
But we've been so used to using ballistic skill for everything that's shooting, whereas now you use your bellicosa battle cannon.
Well, I wouldn't because it's a blast 5-inch.
So. Yeah, well, I would.
Oh yeah,
2 inches away.
Boom! Yeah, I got it.
You use your weapon skill. What is a Warlord Titan's weapon skill?
5 up. So
you're better
it's
off
really bad. Reaver
skill.
is 4 up, and Warhound is 4 up.
So they're all better at shooting than they are in combat.
Unless knights are actually better in combat than they are.
So you charge in with your knight and you shoot your close combat. You shoot your ranged weapons. Okay. You resolve your hits.
Yep.
And then, depending on whether the opponent's got void shields or not, is the next step.
Yeah.
So if you've got a void shield, you make your saves, and you're kind of okay until you lose your void shield, and then
your void shields have gone.
Then they're doing armor rolls, which is where you start seeing all of the damage. So let's just say they don't have void shields.
Yep.
We're doing armor rolls. You roll all of your hits. Once you've done all of your hits, you then choose where it's going to land using the location dice. You don't choose. You roll a dice, and it tells you where it's going to hit.
Yep.
Once that's been done, you then roll the dice to see if it penetrates.
Yeah, whether you get direct hit, devastating hit, or critical hit.
And I'll put this to the side as well if we're going to get this up. So let's see that the head, and 11 to 13 again is a direct hit. So a direct hit, when a location suffers a direct hit, it loses a structure point.
Yeah, so we would be on there, we take a direct hit, and we go to there.
Okay. If it was a devastating hit, it suffers 2 structure points instead.
Boop, boop, like that.
If the location does not have 2 structure points, it loses any structure points it had left, and then it suffers critical damage. So let's just say it's already on this point.
Yeah,
it's going to take 2, so it goes to there.
Critical damage,
and then it would go onto there.
Yep.
Does this one still stay?
Yeah, that one still stays because it's a separate chart. So you would be like that now.
And the critical hit would be when a location suffers a critical hit, it suffers critical damage, then loses 2 structure points, which is what it does there anyway. Oh no, that's one we've just done, isn't it? So that's it. That's the only way to get the points on here is by scoring the critical hits, which is the hardest one. And then you've got critical damage down here, which is the triangle. The first time it takes it, so you move it around. So the first time it takes the yellow, then it goes to the orange, then it goes to the red.
Yep.
After the red, when you take another critical damage, you then do the catastrophic damage.
Yes,
which is the next table.
Is the table.
And this is pretty much how you kill the Titans.
Once you've taken catastrophic damage, you're dead. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Even if you roll a 1, you're dead. It doesn't change that. It's just how you die. You can either be silent, so you just suddenly shut down. You can fall over. You can fall over and blast your weapons as you go down.
But that's the best one.
Yeah, your plasma reactor can just go catastrophic.
So what that happens is the Titan gets destroyed.
Yep.
You roll a d3 and add the number of holes on the Titan's plasma reactor status track. So if you know you're going to be like getting blown up soon, you overload everything to the point where you're like right the way up here. And then the person who's next to you in combat with all of those like close combat shooty night things just dies.
Yeah.
So you're going to be rolling what, d3 plus 5. Each model within that many inches of the Titan before it is removed is hit by the blast. Each unit that is hit suffers d6 hits. Bypassing void shields with a strength equal to the Titan's scale plus 1.
Which 7 on that, it would
6.
be Yeah, but
plus one, yeah, 7, yeah.
And then it would be 9 for a Reaver and 11 for a Warlord.
So if you know your Warlord's about to be blown up...
I mean, and bearing in mind its Plasma Reactor has quite a lot of holes, so it's going to be quite...
6, 7?
2, 4, 6, yeah.
So you go to 6 plus, what was it, D3, and then everything takes a strength 11. Yeah. D6 strength 11 hits.
Strength 11 hits.
So it's a good way to just take everybody.
I mean, at that point, on the Warhound, you're getting direct hit at D6 times.
You've got Falling Titan rules, you've got smash attacks, so even though they don't necessarily have close combat weapons, you can
still have a go at
hit stuff in close combat.
I mean, I think if we go back a page, so here's your damage effects. Which is,
so that was when you're on the critical... I always get confused by these, so that's the critical damage.
Yeah, so this is critical damage, not catastrophic damage. So as you can see, with the critical damage, you have your little triangle. You have your yellow, orange, and red. And on the yellow, orange, and red, it's got a 1, 2, and a 3. Now, if you look to the side of it, you've got 1, 2, and 3. So if I'm at number 2, so I'm on my peg's on my orange, I'm taking an MIU feedback and
or an MUI.
MUI or MIU, and you've got a Moderati wounded. And
who's the Moderati? Are they the gunners?
They're the gunners, yeah, I think so.
True, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
It says it.
Yep. So there you go. And then you have this permanently until you heal your critical damage.
Yeah, and you can heal critical damage on a 5, that wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
So you've got all these things. So you've got MIU, which is... I give up. So you all get confused. You've got your Moderati, so your weapons become worse.
That makes it so that you're -2 on your command checks. So that's like your stratagems and your orders and stuff. Yep. So it's normally a 5 up for a Warhound to pass one of those. So if you're at -2, you're not going to be doing any commands.
I mean, this is bad. If your Princeps gets wounded, you have a chance of just shutting down. Your reactor can leak, hurting people. There you go. You remove the reactor status marker. Number of times as shown in the brackets. It'll tell you on there. VSG burnouts, the void shield generators just fizz out. You have your stabilizers.
Cannot use range shields repair actions either.
So yeah, you
that's horrible.
Yep. Your stabilizers, so you can start waddling about. Your locomotives can fail, so you start moving slow, and you can become immobilized, which...
It's quite cinematic.
Yeah.
It's the one thing I'm getting from this. There's so much going on. It's a very cinematic game, and you'll be taking chunks out of Titans, disabling weapons, shooting them in the face, and you can almost visualize them taking these huge shells to the face and actually having these effects
just suddenly
burning out and then just being open and vulnerable in the middle of a battlefield. It's
and just really all their servitors just going oh my god, we need to get these back up, what's happening?
They're just just a day job.
Servitors are just oh my god, what's going on?
Same as yesterday. Awesome. I actually quite like how cinematic it can be with all of those special rules. I think the difficulty is going from something like 8th edition 40k or fantasy where the rules have been simplified and we've kind of been blessed with being able to just put your stuff on the table and move stuff around and have
let's go for it.
A bit of fun. Now it's get back to reading.
I need to plan out what I'm doing.
Yeah, you need to learn about strategy again. You need to think about
I've got to be strategy now. Oh god, you know what I'm like with strategy.
We've had it easy for 2 years. No, it's just that's it.
Can't I just run at things and try and kill it with my guns?
But that was my first option. I was thinking I'll charge at them. I'll hope I get this VSG burnout reactor leak meltdown, and I'll just hope to blow up and kill everything around me. That's how I would play this. After that, you got the end phase, so that's just resolving the end phase effects. So some game effects end at the end, happen at the end. Warlord Titan reactor leak, for example.
Yep.
And if you have multiple effects that must be resolved in the end phase, then you choose the order in which to resolve them. If both players have them, it goes with the first player priority thing again. Designers, don't forget the end phase. Although it might not look like the end phase does much, be careful not to forget it. A lot of rules are triggered in this phase. So, yeah, especially with the advanced stuff. So they're saying not to forget that. So the next bit is Titanic weaponry.
Whoop, whoop. Big guns.
Is loads of special rules. We're not going to go through all of these. We'll just go through some examples. I'm not going to do Blast because we always look at Blast.
There's some familiar ones. Barrage, indirect firing. Blast is Blast.
We're not going to do Blast. We're going to do Blast anyway.
Blast is Blast. I mean, we all know it. Carapace.
I don't know it anymore. And it's a D10 as well.
Yeah, it's Okay, yeah. Blast is Blast, but with a D10 and a scatter dice. And there is no direct hit anymore. You always scatter.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Carapace. So, if you're a Warlord or a Reaver, you have your guns on your back.
Some of them. Not all of them.
Well, you should do. Come on. It's cool. But if you want to shoot at something, you cannot shoot anything within your scale factor of inches. So I am a Warlord Titan. No, because Warhouse doesn't have carapace weapons. So if I'm a Warlord Titan and I'm a scale factor of 10, so I cannot shoot anything with my carapace weapons within 10 inches.
Where are the carapace weapons?
Well, you know, you've got like, so it'll say a Warlord's carapace. So a paired laser blaster.
So that's short range between, so 16 inches. So you've only got a 6-inch radius where you're going to be hitting short range, because otherwise you'll not be within it. But 32 inches for long range with -1 to hit.
Yeah.
And your front arc.
Yeah.
That's pretty straightforward. I kind of like that.
So, concussive. Now, concussive is actually quite funny. So I can shoot you with a concussive weapon. It can either flip you 45 degrees to the left, 45 degrees to the right, or just knock you backwards a couple of inches. Which I love the idea of that. You're a warlord walking forward and you get smacked with this massive weapon and you're like, oh, actually, I need to stagger back a bit to make sure I'm okay.
Or they don't have a choice and they literally get knocked sideways.
Yeah.
I mean, it does have an extra bit here. It's saying, if the Titan suffers catastrophic damage as a result of this, roll to see if the Titan is turned or moved before rolling on the catastrophic damage table, because that can make you move around again. So imagine being hit by it, like blasted sideways, and then the catastrophic goes off, and then you're spinning around the other way, and you're just falling over. It's that cinematic part of the game again. It's really cool.
So, draining, you basically, I think you have to push your reactor to
a unit that does not have a plasma reactor cannot use a draining weapon.
It says here, before attacking with a draining weapon, the Titan's reactor must be pushed. So you have to push your reactor to shoot that weapon because it's so draining on your power.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
There's
old
some
edition.
Cool names in here as well. Like I like that one, the Sun Fury Plasma Annihilator.
That's a big Warlord plasma, isn't it?
That's a shame. It's got the maximal fire rule. The one thing I was saying.
Well, no, you don't have to use maximal fire.
But if you're going to take a big weapon, you want a nice special rule that you can maximise, like the melter cannons with the fusion.
Yeah.
Paired turbo laser destructors. They just sound really cool, which is what you want. A macro Gatling blaster. Yeah, I'm all for those. Volcano cannons. Ariok Titan Power Claw. I mean, the name of it scares me. I wouldn't go near something with one of those. A Mori Quake Cannon. What is that? Like a Mori
We haven't
Quake?
seen that yet.
So that's
a Warlord's gun.
Wow, that's got concussive. So that's the thing that knocks you around the place.
Yep.
And it has Quake as well.
Yep.
And it has the blast 5 inches. That thing's devastating with a range of 72 inches.
Yep.
Ah, Warlord. Yeah, I need those. 2 of them. So you do paired.
Oh, no, because you have to have the paired rule.
Ah, rubbish. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we going to do the rest of these?
Well, there's some simple.
Go on,
okay, so you've got Shield Bane's good against Shield. Void Breaker's good against Void Shields. Vortex is Vortex, so it lingers on the battlefield, moves around, can suck you into
What was the rule in 30k with the destroyers? They had those type of rad grenades?
Yeah, there's rad grenades.
They throw them on the ground and they like move around.
Oh, no, that's Phosphex bombs.
Phosphex, yeah. So it's like a Titan version of that.
No, Vortex was always in the game, remember? You had Vortex missiles and stuff.
Did you?
Yeah. You had Vortex missiles that would shoot, and then the Vortex would move around doing Destroyer.
I like the idea that it's Phosphex. I'm going to imagine it as that.
Right, okay,
not
you
Vortex.
do that. And then Warp.
I'm going to cross that out and rename it.
Warp is hilarious. So you fire a missile, it kind of disappears into the warp, then reappears within its void shields. So it bypasses
really
void shields, but it doesn't really... I mean, on a 4 to a 6, it suffers critical damage. So
the target location suffers critical damage.
Yeah, so you have to do a location roll, then you roll for that. There is no armor penetration.
Yeah, who cares? You've got a 4 to a 6 chance of them suffering critical damage, which is massive. Did you say that ignores the void shield as well?
Yeah.
Really? Then regardless of whether the target is shielded. Right, which weapons have got warp?
There's like a warp missile, basically, it's called.
Who can have it? Will it tell you on the weapon?
I think it's the Reaver.
The Reaver, right. Yeah. Just loads of Reavers with warp. I've broken it. That's it. We don't need to look anymore.
You're moving too fast for me to even see.
There's none.
You've gone past there. Right,
you have a look while we carry on.
Keep talking.
Blah, blah, blah. The next part of the book is Titanic Clash. So this is just the rules for fighting, basically. Yeah. It's also got the advanced rules, so for the stratagems and the orders, how to enact them, how to issue your orders and what they do. We won't go into those just yet because there's loads. And it's got all of the available orders. So there's 6 different orders you can do. Oh, I just don't think there is warp technology.
No, there is. There. It's right there. Oh, for goodness sake. It wasn't even in the pack. I give up. Oh,
it's only a Reaver carapace. So only the carapace can have it.
You can only shoot it once.
I need more. This is why I was saying it's broken. Imagine if you could have spam warp weapons.
Hence why it's only 1 limited.
That's a shame. Okay, I'll wait. When they bring out warp weapons,
just missiles
without
just
limiters,
keep going. Yeah.
then I'll be in. I'll be all in on Adeptus Titanicus.
So we're on to advanced rules now, aren't we?
6 orders.
Yep.
We've got the rules for terrain. We've got the rules for the plasma reactor and what goes on in there.
Yeah.
So this is something that changes. In the basic rules, you just take hits, don't you?
Yep, you can just take damage from it, but now there's a chart to roll.
Right, so whenever you push the reactor,
Yep.
you move the peg up, don't you?
Yep.
And then in the damage control step, if your pin is in an orange or a red one, then you roll on the overload table.
Yep.
So if you are on the orange step, then you roll a
D6.
D6. If you're in the red, you roll a D10.
Yeah.
And then whatever you roll determines what happens on that reactor. So on a 9 to 10, the Titan is destroyed. So
that can only physically happen when your reactor's right at its end.
Okay, so the nastiest is plasma leak, yeah?
So
you suffer D3 strength 9 hits to its body, bypassing void shields.
That's
9, so you only need to roll a 3 and it's a direct hit.
yeah.
A 5 and you'll be devastating hit.
Yeah.
It's not lethal.
It's not massive, but it's enough to knock a few structure points
You
off.
still want to be careful. Oh, we've got Phil's favourite rule there, wobbly model syndrome. He loves to push that to the limit, doesn't he?
Oh no, my model's on the rock.
Just imagine it's tiptoe.
It's gonna fall.
Is that how I talk, guys?
Yeah, it's pretty much how you talk.
So there is a machine spirit table there. I'm not sure how that actually works, but there's a load of stuff on here explaining the special rules. Like I said, this book is crammed full of rules, and we've not had.
We don't want to give you everything.
We've not had that long. When you get the book, you can come back and tell us in the comments what the hell the machine spirit rule is and how it works.
I'm not saying we'll understand, but you can try and explain it to us
in as simple terms as possible. We've got unusual situations there. We've got squadrons.
I love this. Squadron of 3 warhounds just sprinting across the fields together.
So squadrons are different to the banners of knights, which you didn't explain at first, because when you were saying about squadrons, I assumed that knights were basically squadrons as well.
Oh no, they're banners.
They're banners, they're units. So that's the way I'm thinking about it. So a banner of knights is like a unit in 40k.
Indeed.
So they have to stay within 3 inches of each other, and then they have special rules where they can like power their void shields or ion shields together or whatever. Squadrons are different. So you get the movers.
So if I've got, because Warhound's the only thing that can be squadrons. So it says here, Warhound Titans can form squadron of 2 to 3 Titans. Now, these Titans are similar to, actually, you know what? They're not even similar to 40k. They've got the same name, but they don't act as a squadron. So I can put my squadron down and I can have 1 Warhound. So say I've got a squadron of 2. I can have 1 Warhound on my right side and 1 Warhound on my left. They don't have to be close to each other, but when I activate them together. So they move together at the same time. They shoot at the same time.
Yeah.
But you do get benefits of having them close together. You can overlap your void shields, which help each. So say one of them's low on its void shields, it can use its other partner's void shields to help it out. I think you get command benefits, you get coordinated strikes with them, so both of them can focus fire on one Titan to try and take it down. You get all sorts of stuff like that.
But there are benefits, so that's really good for outflanking. So you have left flank, right flank, you just move in and they are like
together
a
and
pack,
they can pincer them,
and they just take things, they can scout around the slower warlords and start picking them off from different angles. You can put them together. If you do that, you get merging void shields, which is quite a nice rule, because if something's shooting at you, you can choose, I think, which void shield to roll on. So depending on where you are with your void shield and what power it is, you decide what's going to shield both of them. And you do that by just putting both of them together and standing them next to each other. If your save is failed and your void shield is failed, then you choose which void shield loses the power as well. So you can have one which is basically at max void shields, and the other one which is there just taking the hit every time. I really like that. So there is a benefit to having your squadrons together. And the other benefit of having your squadrons separate is you can outflank and destroy things.
Okay, so knight banners.
So these are, I'm going to call them units.
No, they're banners.
Okay, they're banner units.
Banners. Come on, some terminology here.
Knight banners.
Here we go.
Oh, that was hard. So these work in the same way as a Titan. They have limited,
but they don't,
stuff. they kind of,
but they don't.
But they're not. Composition of a banner. A banner is made up of knights. A number of knights acting as a single unit. So you've got between 1 and 4 plus.
So 3 to 6 knights.
Yeah, you can go down.
That's how it works.
So they're all activated in the movement phase as a unit. They consider to have a 360-degree front arc, so they can shoot anywhere and can make as many turns as they wish.
They don't need maneuver rolls or anything like that.
which you'd expect because they're not big. They're not like
no,
Titans.
they're pretty fast and they're pretty agile, aren't they? That's what they're kind of made for.
We go. I was reading the rules for banners in the combat phase.
Right.
So instead of attacking with each knight individually, you make an attack with each different weapon in turn. For each weapon, multiply the dice characteristic by the number of knights in the banner that are equipped with that weapon. So it's basically just saying, pile all your dice together. This isn't a Titan. Don't waste your, don't slow down the game for your petty little knight banners. Just roll them all together and get on with it.
Just get on with it, yeah.
Attacking banners. So you're attacking pick a single knight in the banner to be the target of the attack. This one is used for the purposes of range, line of sight, and so on. However, any damage that is caused is applied to the banner as a whole, which is very different to Titans.
So here we can see this. So you've got your structure points, your green, yellow, yellow, red. Now what happens is, you've got your chart here for direct hit, devastating hit, and critical hit. And what happens is, so you move it along, but as soon as you've reached the end, you don't remove that unit, you just remove one model and then reset the die.
One knight from the banner.
One knight from the banner, yes.
Okay. Until they're all gone.
Until they're all gone, yeah.
Well, the other thing I was thinking about is with a Titan, when you're, say you're shooting a Titan at another Titan, you choose all of your weapons to hit, and you resolve all of the hits. Say they've got a void shield up. If you manage to take down the void shield, but you've still got shots left over from the knight, from the Titan, they're discounted. Yeah, so the idea is that you just remove the void shield, and then the next turn you'll try and take out the core if their void shields don't go up. With the banners, you basically just nail them and you just remove them all as a unit. So Titans are a little bit more survivable in the fact that as long as you've got void shields, people can't take you out in one hit with one Titan.
Whereas with knights they can.
With knights you can wipe out the whole banner if you've got the weapons to do that. So that's quite cool. The other thing is these are fast, aren't they? 10-inch move. Warlords have got like 4-inch move if they don't overload. So these can really outmaneuver. And you were saying the way to use them is to get behind, to outflank behind them.
To get behind, get behind that warlord, start shooting up into it. That warlord's going to have to turn around to deal with it, leaving its rear arc for you to just blast into it with your warlord.
For your warhound, wolf pack. I like them. I like the idea that they're wolf packs. So that's the banners.
That's nice. Colour schemes.
I love. This is the other thing with Forge World books is they're always good quality.
They give good images.
The paper feels nice. The pictures look good. The artwork's really nice. What was the other thing we got in here? So this was.
Oh yeah, they're really nice actually.
Yeah, just really nice paper with all the quick reference rules on there.
Yep.
Anyway,
more colours.
More colours. Different knight banners.
Assembling battle groups.
Oh, we've got optional rules as well.
Oh.
So these are things that they've said you don't have to play. So basic rules, when you're learning the game, play that. Advanced is the way that you normally play.
Good.
So that is considered part of the main rule set. Optional rules, you both agree whether you want to use them or not. They're supposed to be more thematic, destroying terrain and things like that, and the stray shots. So if you've got different units next to each other, if you roll a 1 when you're rolling to hit, it might go off and hit somebody else, friend or foe. So you could accidentally shoot the head off a warlord of your own if you roll that 1 and then get really bad. Power transfer as well, which is quite nice if that works the same. I used to play Eve Online, and you have like the support ships that are like transferring power and shields.
So basically, you've got warhounds with jumper cables to your warlords.
Yeah, like a support Titan.
Just I've got your boss. Just put some jumper cables on.
It probably doesn't work like that, but this is only possible if the Titan's void shields have not collapsed. If they declare that they are doing this, decrease the Titan's shield level by 1 for each reactor symbol rolled instead of increasing the reactor level. If 2 reactor symbols are rolled and the first collapses, the Titan's shields. The second symbol causes a reactor level.
So you drain your shields to increase your reactor.
Yeah.
Basically. Oh, that's clever.
Yeah. Too many words from me. I'm glad you're here to make sense of this.
I mean, I could be completely wrong. I'm just saying things.
Assembling a battle group now. Is this just the army list? Is this the way
yeah, so this is your mana pool. So you've got different mana pools.
Mana pools.
Yeah, let's budge over. You've got all that. So this is your basic mana pool. Reaver, Warlord, Warhound with an optional.
I love the Warhounds.
One Warhound and one more Reaver.
Warhounds are cool.
They've got like really big feet.
I do like the Warlord though.
Yeah, the Warlord.
I don't like these. What are they? The War
Reavers.
They're the Reaver. I'm not too keen on Reavers. Warhounds and Warlords. That's the way I'd go. Mandatory components, right? So that is literally telling you have to have a Warlord, you have to have a Reaver, and you have to have a Warhound.
Yep, but you can take an additional Reaver or Warhound. No, you don't.
No, you do.
No, wait. You're jumping the gun a sec. So this is one mana pool. This is your Axiom Battle mana pool.
Yeah.
So this is your basic thing. You get traits for this. You've also got your
Myrmidian battle line.
So that is compulsory of 2 Warlords and 1 Reaver.
Still don't want it. It's got a Reaver in it.
Oh, wait, it's the Reavers you don't know.
No.
Oh, you can never get away from Reavers. They're
Really?
everywhere.
One Reaver, 2 Warhounds.
Yeah, they're everywhere, Sam. Just deal with it. It's one of those things you're going to have to get used to it.
That will be my... you know, I was saying I'm going to send one in just to blow up. That'll be the Reaver. I'll just throw it forwards.
I give up.
Say, see you later, Reaver. No one wanted you anyway. Okay, that's cool. They give you some choice of the different ones.
Yeah, it gives you different
what do you get? Maniple traits. So, if an enemy's unit shields are collapsed by an attack made by a Warhound Titan from this maniple, the Reaver Titan... Why is it always the Reaver Titan? The Reaver Titan in this maniple can immediately make an attack against it with one of its weapons. Cool. Is this something that doesn't include Reavers being the centerpiece? Like maybe the Warlord, when issuing a first fire or a split fire order to Titans from this maniple, the command check will always succeed in a roll of a 2, regardless of modifiers. There we go, I'll take that.
But you have to have Reavers.
Yeah, I know I do, but I can throw him in, like I said. It's fine. I like that one, though.
Okay.
If a Titan from this maniple fails a command check, when an order is issued to it in the orders step, orders can still be issued to the rest of the Titans. Okay, it seems like strategies and orders are going to play more of a part than I first
you get quite a lot. So, assets, I mean, I haven't even gotten this one.
Stratagems.
Stratagems,
So you get to choose stratagems. What is this? Immediately before forces are deployed, each player chooses... So this is like Kill Team.
Yeah.
So each player chooses their stratagem. They spend their stratagem points secretly, either taking cards from the stratagem deck with the relevant total or choosing them from the list of stratagems that follow.
I'm going to send some sneaky grots into your Titan and sabotage it with some dynamite.
There is some cool stuff in here. Thermal mines. Play the stratagem immediately after an enemy unit finishes moving or making a turn. That unit suffers D3 strength 10 hits to its legs.
Yeah.
Shield saves cannot be made against the hits. And it says immediately after an enemy unit finishes moving or making a turn. So you just wait until, you know, like some of these, we were saying that you don't have to take out everything. You might want to take out the head or the body or the legs. So you know, if you start throwing your location dice and you get in legs a lot, you think, oh, I've got thermal mines. I'll save that until I need to take somebody's legs out. And then you'll drop it and then you might finish them off and get them onto the critical damage step. So some of these stratagems can be quite key to getting you up to critical damage late game. Artillery bombardment, there's some cool stuff in there. I like stratagems. That's a plus from me.
I mean, battlefield assets, you've got your macro cannons, your missiles, your command, the plasma generator, communications, and void shields. Again, they all do different things. Re-rolling failed void shield saves, weapons actually shooting for you.
But these are stratagems. You choose this as a stratagem.
Yes, yeah.
So you set them up at the beginning and then they do different things depending on which one you've got.
I mean, I think the Void Shield would be quite good. You have a Warlord, which is just about sniping Titans off the battlefield, so you put a Void Shield relay next to it.
Sit next to it and then you re-roll all your failed Void Shields, which we know is quite key to staying alive. It's quite cheesy, that. Which have not moved. Like you say, you stand still.
Oh, that's really good.
You stand next to the Void Shield relay and you just start sniping things.
I mean, you can destroy them.
You can destroy but still, if you're going to be wasting your shot on one of these rather than a Titan.
It's quite good.
I like that. I think every time you take the Void Shield ones and snipe.
Here we go. 2 extra plays, open narrative.
There's 3 ways to play, isn't there? Narrative, open, and match. That was it.
So you've got your different... this is...
Missions,
yep. There's always some missions.
So we've got the Betrayal at Calth. Awesome. You can actually play the Betrayal at Calth. That's really cool. And every Heresy player will love that.
If you're like a lore nerd, you're going to be really happy with this.
If you play the Heresy, you will play the Betrayal at Calth probably every single game.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it. The Battle of Moloch. And this is another thing as well, actually. If you are playing Heresy, you could tie this into the campaign. So you could play 30k games, and then you can switch it out and play some Adeptus Titanicus games and replay some of these missions and make up some new ones. You know, taking over some planets and redoing the Heresy is really cool.
If you're crazy, you could do it with the full-scale ones as well.
Yeah. There was a bunch of guys that went to Forge World. Did you see that?
Yes, I did
on
see
Facebook,
that,
they filled like, I don't know, a 4x10 table.
Yeah.
Just filled with knights. It's insane. The Terran suppression.
But I mean...
There's quite a lot in there.
Some more nice. So this is different legions that you could do. So Legio Mortis, which is what I'm doing.
It's quite... I mean, you know my colours that I always do. It's black, red and gold.
Yeah. But I'm doing this one, Sam.
Of course you are. Even though you know that black, red and gold is my colours.
Yeah, but this is a traitor household and I'm traitors.
Are they actually traitors?
Yeah, Legio Mortis fell.
Oh, Fabrica General of Mars. That's a shame. Maybe I should do Chaos.
There you go, Legio Mortis. Matched play, so you've got different victory points, different layouts and battles.
Have they got any crazy setups like they do in 40k? No? That's probably the craziest. No, it's the angled ones I don't like. These ones aren't too bad because you can just measure blocks, but it's these ones where it's like, put the tape measure at a complete weird angle across the battlefield and then keep checking it. So we've got Legions of the Adeptus Titanicus.
Yep.
And
Legio Griffonicus, which is the main one, which is
it the main one?
Yeah, I think it's the one everyone knows, and it's the one that Father's doing as his airbrush tutorial.
Okay.
So look out for that if you like your Griffonicus.
That should be out tomorrow, potentially. So it'd be worth watching that one if you're interested in seeing how to airbrush Griffonicus.
Yeah.
But there is specific war gear in here, Legion traits, Lust for Glory. There's some cool stuff inside here. What's next?
So that's the
Griffonicus. That's what they actually look like. There we go. Phil can use that as a
yellows and greys and stuff. I think they're quite cool.
They're okay.
They're the main loyalist ones.
I'm not too keen on it.
Oh yeah, but that's you, Sam. You're never keen on anything.
No, I am. I like the chaos looking one that you've taken.
Oh yeah, which is why I've taken it.
Of course. And that's it. We're at the end of the book. We went page by page.
Boom.
Practically.
Done it.
Done it. We don't need to go through all the stuff that's in the box because you've already done that, haven't you, with Phil?
Yeah.
So you've done the unboxing.
My brain hurts now.
There's a lot inside there. Initially, I wasn't too bothered. I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling it a little bit more. I was thinking with the amount of stuff we've got going on.
It's one of those, you can probably figure it out quite quickly. It's just, I can tell I'm going to have millions of pins in this thing, and I'm going to get up and go ka-tunk, and it's going to go flying. The pins are going to go everywhere.
The pins a little bit longer.
Yeah,
they are a bit small. But you know what I mean. You've got Kill Team. Games Workshop are knocking it like completely out of the park at the moment with every release. There's Age of Sigmar 2, which is just amazing. Yeah. We've got Kill Team, which has fully got me back into 40k. I'm even doing something I've never been bothered about, which is Harlequins. Don't care about Harlequins in the slightest, and I'm building a Kill Team for them. So that shows that they've done a good job with Kill Team.
Well, that shows that they're a really powerful army.
Now they've brought out Adeptus Titanicus, and I don't know whether it's just because there's so much that I'm working on at the moment that I'm kind of overwhelmed by the amount of releases.
If you're a Heresy player, then this is going to be amazing for you. It's going to be a new Heresy thing for you to do. If you're, I'm dropping things. If you're like into your resource management and games like that, then you're going to be really into this. But I think it's
not a bad system. I think, like you say, you've got to be into that type of game. You've got to be into the scaling. You've got to be into the arcs of fire. You've got to be into knowing all of your special rules and all of the extra stuff that's included into the game, rather than just what I'm used to at the moment, which is set up and blow things to pieces. It's a nice game. They've thought about a lot, and obviously they've gone into a lot of detail to bring it as close to the background and the story which they've done in the books as they possibly can. And I think they've done an amazing job with that. I don't think there's anything wrong that I've seen with the game in terms of how it plays. It's just whether you're into that sort of game. And I think that's the big thing. Are you into? Do you want something that's complicated with a lot of different rules and different ways that you can play and strategize, or do you want something simple? And they've nailed the simple side of things. You know, if you want to play that type of game, you've got loads of choice.
40k and all that.
But they haven't really done a proper strategy-based one like this,
which is what I think they're trying to go with it. I think they've done it without even playing a game. Looking at the rules, I think they've nailed it.
I think they have as well.
I think the Reactor's amazing. How you can push your Reactor and then you have to cool it down. You can take critical damage. Your head, your body, your legs can start going. Your weapons can malfunction. I think it's great.
There's tons of scope. And the other thing is you can play it as small as you want. So if you want to play with like,
you could do it one Titan on one Titan. You
just
could even
do
that.
What do you get in the set? I mean, the box set was £35, is it?
Yep.
So for that, you get all of the cards. You get all of the little sprue stuff. So all of the markers, all of the pins and things like that.
I think it's 65 for the Warlords.
60 or 65 for Warlords.
Yep. And it was 175 for the Gamers Collection, which gave you the
what was that called? The Grandmaster set?
Yeah, that's it. Which had the box, 2 Warlords, 6 Knights, and some scenery.
Okay. I mean, I think the Grandmaster's probably the way to go. If you're going to be doing it, you go for your 2 Titans. That's 130 quid alone.
It's good to, like, if you're going to be playing it with someone, it's a good thing.
I just think in general, if you're going to pay 35 quid for the box of rules, and then you're going to pay 65 quid for a Titan, you're already at 100 quid. Why not pay the extra 70 and get a second Titan, 6 Knights as well, and the scenery? I just think, and then if you're splitting that as well, you obviously have a Knight and 3
A Titan.
a Titan and 3 Knights.
A Knight and 3 Titans, that would be cool.
And I think, yeah, that's probably the way to go.
Yeah.
I think the models are nice. Obviously, there's going to be a tutorial on that to check out.
Really
I think it's worth looking
details.
at the model. And it's bigger than I thought it was. I was expecting it to be like that sort of size.
Yeah.
But they are
they're
decent
sized. Yeah.
And there's tons of details, and obviously they're going to be bringing out new stuff in the future. And that's the big thing. I think it's got scalability. They can bring out all of the weapon arms and hopefully a warp-based weapon.
Yeah.
And
well, they have a warp-based weapon.
a decent warp-based weapon. It isn't a one-use and isn't a, what is it called?
Reaver missile.
Is it a Reaver that has that?
Yeah.
Oh, got to take a Reaver.
Well, you have to take a Reaver anyway, Sam. They're everywhere.
Yeah, at least now I've got a reason to take it. That'll just be like my one-hit
Classic
weapon.
you hate the standard Titan. I like Space Marines, but I don't like Tactical Marines.
I like Primaris Marines.
Oh, yeah, I like Primaris Marines.
Okay, I think we're done with this anyway, aren't
Yeah, I think
Are you
we're
happy?
starting to fall out.
we did that at the beginning.
Yeah,
And
true.
we managed to get through a whole
I
video.
know, I'm
together.
pretty impressed with this.
I'm
to be
impressed. I
honest.
think we should both get gold stars. Right, hopefully you've enjoyed it. It has been fairly long, but
Yeah.
there's tons of rules to get through. We haven't done everything in depth. There's obviously loads to look into.
Yeah.
You can see the pages, so read the rules a little bit better. When it comes out, you can obviously go in depth and try the game and play test it. Let us know in the comments down below if you're going to be getting this game, what your thoughts are, because it'd be interesting to see what people think, whether they want the advanced complicated game or whether they're happy with the simple system, whether there's just tons out at the minute or you absolutely love the fact that there's tons of choice from Games Workshop. Leave it in the comments down below. And also what Legios everyone's doing.
Yes, and colour schemes. I'm really interested to see that because I love the colour schemes of the Titans. I think it's amazing.
There was a really good Forge World book. I know Dave had it, and it had all of the knights in it.
Yeah.
So you could translate that to the Titans as well. And I don't know if you can still get that, but if you can, it'd be well worth picking up. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.